Thanks for the support as a channel member, Stuart Chatterton. It is the start of Season 4 on today's episode, and after 3 consecutive promotions, we now find ourselves in Tier 7 in, I forget the league we're in, I'm looking it up now, the Bet Victor Premier Division South. If we can get our 4th consecutive promotion, which we are favourites for, the National League South next season beckons. Hello and welcome to part 24 of the Bourne Legacy. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the first 2 games of the new season. We're at home against Hayes Yeading and away against Staines. If you missed the transfer window yesterday, these were the transfers as usual. Lots of youngsters coming in, largely Premier League rejects, and then a few of our heroes have departed. So we are going to have a bit of a new look team today. If we have a look at the season preview, though, you can see we are favourites to go up, and we do have all 11. Is he ours? He is ours. I can't even remember our own players now. We have all 11 players in the Media Dream 11, so we should be good. And this is the team we're putting out there for the first day of the new season. So differently to how it's been in recent years, we have actually managed to keep hold of several of the players from last year, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to get onto that in a second, but firstly we'll introduce the team, get going with the game, and then I have some things to discuss about the save. So we're going with Daniel's in goal, a back four of new boy Tyler Garrett. Yes, this is where I'm because I did the transfers like 3 days ago in real life, so I might forget who the new signings are. Most of the existing names I should remember though. And we've got new boy Sam McClelland alongside Wiggett at the back, who did a bit of a Mick Powell for us last year. And I'm surprised he is still here. Hodson still knocking around as well to play at right back. Smith is still here, which is a huge coup for us, alongside new boy Callum Wright, who came in from Leicester. And then we've got new boy Longalo, who came in from Leeds, with the rest of the front four players we know from last year. Lee is still here on the right hand side, McGuinness and Hector Ingram still around for us up front. So let's get into the team. It's the closest we've ever had to a team that looks a little bit like last season's one. There's what, 5 or 6 players who've managed to survive from last season. There you go. We are favourites. Go out here and win the match. And that is one of the things I wanted to talk about, because there have been a couple of people, probably more than a couple, quite a few people who've made suggestions for how to keep hold, what a goal from Smith, by the way, of how to keep hold of my better players, how to earn more money, and basically tweaks and hacks almost for how to do well in a super lower league save, and I just wanted to kind of nip that kind of stuff in the bud for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I don't want to offer pre-contracts that are signed at the end of the season to keep to trick the game into keeping my players here when they're just non-contracts. It feels like a glitch for the game rather than something you could do in real life, because in real life, if you had someone like Luke Plange, who we had last season, and he plays as well as he did for us, and a bigger club want him, he goes to the bigger club. It doesn't matter if we've glitched the game into keeping him here until the end of the season. That it just feels a little bit, I don't really want to get involved in that. So I know a lot of people have been suggesting it. I'm not into doing that. And the other thing people have suggested since the start of the save, and we got the suggestions with home as well, but I've not really addressed it in this save, is do loads of pre-season friendlies against league opposition, do pre-season tournaments, play 30 friendlies and earn loads of money. And again, my thoughts on that are that's not how it works in real life. So I don't want to trick the game into giving me more money. In real life, Bourne, as a tier 10 club, aren't going to get a load of football league clubs or European sides or whoever it might be to come and play a pre-season tournament at Abbey Lawn. That's not how it works. It doesn't happen. So I'm not going to do it. I don't want to glitch the game into giving me more money. Because let's face it, it's already fairly unrealistic at this level, and it's not like I need the help. Managing at this level is super easy because the game doesn't understand the difference between tier 6 and tier 10. We've talked about it lots of times. There isn't any way to make a player who's right at the bottom of his attributes at tier 6. There's no way to make him 4 tiers worse. So a good player at tier 6 is probably still going to be, a good player at tier 10 will probably still be a good player at tier 6. So if we find really good players in tier 10 or tier 7 as we are now, yes, a lot of them are going to be good enough for the Football League. But that's not how it works in reality. Obviously, in reality, players can always get worse. So, yeah, I don't want to stop signing the best players that my scouts find, because that in itself becomes realistic. Some people have suggested stop signing Premier League youngsters, but you know what? I'm not going out and searching the Premier League squads as they release players or anything like that. These are players that are showing up naturally from my scouts, who are scouting players who are available, presumably in the same sort of geographical area as me. I certainly can't scout the Premier League, but once they become free transfers, they can be scouted. And they do start to show up in my scout reports. So they're coming up in my scout reports naturally. They've not got clubs. Why wouldn't I sign them if that happened in real life? It feels, where do you draw the line there? Well, I don't want to sign players who are too good, because it becomes unrealistic. So I'm happy signing the best players my scouts can find, because that's how I do it. My transfers are done non-league to legend style. We're going with 2 poachers here because why not? We sign players based on scout reports, not on anything else, apart from the director of football recommendations that I always show you. So I think that naturally, or it should naturally, limit the quality of players we get. Obviously it doesn't. We still get players who are far too good for us. But I don't want to then sort of, I'm old, I don't know the internet terminology. Cheese it? Is that what you would say? By suddenly getting £500,000 in the bank from a bunch of friendlies, and then glitching the game into keeping our squad together all season. It all feels, what's the point at that point? You know, we've already had 3 promotions in a row and we're heavy favourites to go up a 4th time. How much easier do we need it to be? So they're my thoughts on that. Obviously, if you don't know any of what I was talking about, if you've not seen any of that stuff, you should hang out in the comments section a little bit more. I've officially not been on social media for January, so I'm still not on, which does include the comments, which is why I've not been replying to comments this month. I'm having a social media cleanse because I'm an internet hipster. But I do get little updates on what's been going on in there, and if there's common stuff, and you know, some stuff still comes through as email, so I am seeing those kind of things. I just wanted to let people know why I was doing it the way I was doing it, because it worked with home, it's working with Bourne. I don't need more money. We've got some Mick Powell for that. We're doing all right. Right, we have just made one more signing. He was the final piece of the jigsaw, the left back that we wanted, Jeremy Kiezu, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability left back. We didn't really have a real top quality left back, currently performing at a National League level previously of Tottenham. So he comes straight into the team for the Staines game, along with a couple of other changes. Kundal comes into the central midfield, Luke Kundal, who came off the bench in the last game. Do we want to play him as a ball-winning midfielder? Can he be? He can be the ball-winning midfielder. It'll be fine. Dodds comes in up front, who again came off the bench in the last game. We're not playing him as a poacher again, though. You can play as a pressing forward. McGinnis is injured. And Morton comes in on the right-hand side, who once again came off the bench in the last game. Lee drops down to the bench. He didn't have a very good game, so let's try Morton. I mean, Morton wasn't great either, but we've got lots of players. We need to be doing a little bit of rotation early on as we work out who our stars are going to be, because that's the thing, when you bring in a lot of these youngsters, and star rating you can only trust so far, because obviously our coaches and scouts and things aren't actually any good. So although theoretically we've assembled a good team, we won't actually know how good they are until we start seeing them in action and we work out who the absolute superstars are. So that's why we want to have a look at them all early on. Here is Dodds in early on and forces the save out of the Staines goalkeeper, and they race clear with the ball. Getting back to what I was talking about before, I'm not going to do another 10-minute rant on it, don't worry, but let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on it are, because to me, I think there's 2 main different types of save that I could do as a Football Manager YouTuber, and I'm only really interested in one of those 2. There's doing a sort of tutorial kind of thing where you're demonstrating to everybody how you can optimize every aspect of the game to be really good at Football Manager, and always sign the absolute best players and play the absolute best tactic and earn the absolute most money and do everything the most efficient and the quickest and the best way. And I know there is an audience for that kind of content, but it's not content I've got any interest in doing, partly because, as we're all aware, I'm not capable of doing that. I don't know that kind of stuff in that kind of depth because it interests me so little. The type of content I like to create is story-based content. So I use Football Manager as a backdrop for telling a story. And to me, the story is made more interesting by the fact that we can have our star player leave at any time. So even from the whole not wanting to, even if we ignore the whole not glitching the game kind of thing, I quite like the fact that Plange left partway through the season and we had to scratch around and try and replace him, because it added a little twist to the story, added a little bit of extra challenge that wasn't there before, made things more interesting. So I like the fact that we've not got hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank. I like the fact that players can leave at any time. I think it makes things more interesting. So even from a story point of view, I think I'm doing things the right way for the type of content that I've become known for, and hopefully for the kind of audience that I've built. I would hope there's nobody here looking for tutorials and how-tos, because I have never done them. I don't ever plan on doing them. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun and hopefully make entertaining Football Manager videos that you like to watch because you enjoy the story and you have a little chuckle while you're watching them. And if I hit all those goals, it really doesn't matter if we lose a player halfway through a season when there would have been a way to glitch the game into keeping him. Who cares? My way was more fun. Right, Smith with the corner coming over, and we haven't scored yet in this game, and that was notable in the last game as well, only scoring once. Maybe we're not going to be as dominant at this level as we maybe expected we would be, because I'm kind of used to winning games 5 and 6-0, and we've only scored 1 goal in a game and a half now, and Staines are on the attack, and if we're not careful, we'll find ourselves 1-0 down, despite the fact we've had 4 clear-cut chances in that first half. It's not that we're not playing well. It's just for whatever reason, despite creating bags of chances, our attackers aren't really converting them just yet, especially when you consider how many goals Hector Ingram scored last year. I think, was it 42 goals he finished on last year? It's not as if he's particularly goal shy, but at the moment, we find ourselves 1-0 down. Passionately, we have been the better team. We've created 4 clear-cut chances to their 1. We've had more shots than them, more shots on target than them. Yes, they've edged us for possession a little bit, but when we have the ball, we're doing more with it than they are. The only thing we haven't done is get the thing in the back of the net, and it's not ideal. We'll figure it out though. Maybe if we don't win our first 10 games consecutively, we might add a little bit of that flavour and interest I was talking about for the story. Dodds is in here, and that is another big miss. 5 clear-cut chances now, and Dodds has missed a lot of them. That's the issue. I think the chances are falling to Dodds rather than Hector Ingram. McClelland now, down to Cundall, who shoots from range, and it's saved, and it's another corner, and we are all over Staines at the moment. Surely a goal is coming. Smith with another corner. It floats over. I don't know who that was who got onto the end of it, but Dodds has got it now, and can't really do anything with it again. Longhello now. We've not seen much of him in the last 2 games, and that was poor. We need to make some changes to this attack, and we're going to make them now. Firstly, obviously, we get Lee on. Why is everyone in weird places? We're going to get Lee on because we know he's good. We're also going to take off Hector Ingram. We'll bring on Warrington. What is Warrington? I thought he's a midfield player. We don't want to bring him on up front. We're going to bring McGuinness on for Ingram, or Hector Ingram, sorry, and play Dodds as the poacher because he's really shown his eye for goal. McGuinness as the target man, and then I'm going to demand more because we'll go attacking as well. Probably should have done that a little bit earlier, but we can't be losing games like this that we've dominated. This is silly. Longhello can come off as well, and we're going to bring on... We've got nobody who can play on the left wing. What is happening? Well, let's take off Cundall then and bring on Callum Wright, who is a better box-to-box midfield. I don't know that's going to make much of a difference at this stage. Show some 10 minutes of passion to finish things off. Look at the state of these stats. 25 shots, 14 of them on target. Their goalkeeper's obviously had a blinder. 5 clear-cut chances, 3 half chances. They've had no chances and scored a goal. We've not quite had as much possession as them, but I mean, we've even got a higher average rating than they have. How are we behind in this game? It's nonsense. Right, Lee on the right-hand side. Still 10 minutes to go. Lee, what has he just done? That's not what... We've seen him score that chance so many times. Do we just not fancy it today? They all want me to arrange pre-season tournaments so they can get paid more. Smith plays it forward. Big ball over the top from Smith. McGuinness is chasing, and that is a terrible miss. It's a good chance, but a terrible miss. Why he didn't just square it to Hector Ingram, to Dodds. I'm used to being Hector Ingram. Why didn't just square it to Dodds, who's alongside him? I do not know. But this is absurd that we're going to lose this game. Look at the state of these stats. Staines are going to score again. Come on, gentlemen. We've got 4 fans come away from home now. Obviously, one of our new signings has got a couple of kids, but that was hideous, and I am shouting at them, and I'm not happy with them. Yet another unbeaten season ruined early on. Hopefully that's the last silly performance we get all year, and we can sort ourselves out from here. But if not, this might be a little bit more interesting of a season. We'll come back. Why are we... Oh, hello. What's happening here? We're playing Slough twice. Tell me this isn't glitch time. We might need to monitor that. Hopefully that just goes away. And if it does, we'll come back at the end of August and see how we're getting on. That is a bit of a worry, though, seeing that on the fixture list. Let's just hit continue and just see if that goes away, because otherwise... Very sadly. I mean, it's always the danger. We need that to resolve itself. Or the next episode might be me announcing the database is broken. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.